Alright, live. Microphone in a bit. Phone looks good. Okay. Hey, we're back and we're building more Bilbo. Yes, thank you, Chocobo. Chocobo's very excited for the Bilbo build. Okay. So we left off. I had done the two Innistrad back-to-back sets for our return to Innistrad, and we did not do the commander decks though, so we're gonna check those real quick. So we're on Crimson Vow right now. We're not gonna have vampires for Timothar. Like, we'll have a few, but not enough for him. All non-combat damage, no. Pay one, make a spirit, probably not. X is the number of opponents who control more lands than you. No. Geist Avenger, Storm of Souls. They're put there from the battlefield this turn. Alright, that thing. No. Attacking vampires you control have Death Touch and Lifelink. Whenever a vampire you control dies, you may pay 2 life to draw a card. Control. Attack, create a blood token. Making 1/1 lifelink creatures might not be terrible. I might consider the Glass Heart. Alright, so we need to go down to Commander proper. Oh, not that one. No. There we go. Alright, this is Glasscast Heart. Is 2 and a black for an artifact. Yeah, I'm slightly wondering if I should have given a little bit more thought to Edgar, dying and coming back, but we aren't an aristocrats deck, so we won't have ways to sacrifice him to start making the tokens. Which I think are way more important than the actual, Edgar himself, because we're not going to be a vampires deck, so giving our vampires +1/+1 is not a huge deal. It would primarily be his own tokens. We don't need Camber, I don't think. I mean, it does gain us life when our opponent's creatures die, but we don't need the blood tokens, and it's a 4-drop for that, so it's only medium. I'd rather have a cheaper creature or even an artifact or enchantment that does that. Go to Olivia's Wrath, Predator's Hour. We're not going to be able to discard enough to get the Madness trigger for Shadowgrange Archfiend, so I don't feel like running a 7-drop that just makes opponents sacrifice their big creatures. Breathkeeper Seraph's alright, not amazing. Wedding Ring benefits the person we give Wedding Ring to way more than it benefits us with all the life we're gaining. Like, they are not gaining that much life that I can afford to give them all the life that I'm gaining every turn. I don't need Doomweaver for the Overlord. Cast a spell, put a 1/1 counter on it. Nope. And then, then we're into old cards, so. Alright, and we need Innistrad. Right, Alchemy, yeah. Third one is Commander. On over to the new cards. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on up to one target creature you control. Then, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, draw a card. Control get +1/+1 for each counter on him. For each different power, choose a creature with that power. Destroy each creature not chosen this way. Base power and toughness 3/3 and lose all types. Does return any number of other creature cards with total power X or less from the graveyard to the battlefield, where X is its power. Eh. Choose any number of creatures with different powers to gain double strike. Control 3 or more creatures with different powers. Creatures you control gain indestructible. And then we're into the zombies with the decayed subset matters. Yeah, we don't sacrifice, so we don't need that. These are all zombie cards. Alright, back into the green coven stuff. X is a number of different powers. No. Dies, exile, and create a spider. The Heron Blade Elite. Number of 1/1 counters on it equal to the amount of mana spent. And all damage will be dealt to another creature with +1/+1 counter. Put X counters. No. Choose any number of creatures with different powers, where X is this thing's power. Beastmaster makes like infinite tokens. Memorial makes our things indestructible. Each creature I control. No. 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 And then we're out. Okay. Yeah, not really feeling any of the Midnight Hunt commander cards. Alright, so after Innistrad comes Invasion. So mostly white-green stuff, if anything. Battle. That. Absolutely no the leeches. Only 3 life. No. Good old Armadillo Cloak. Prevent the next X damage that will be dealt to target creature this turn, or you gain X life. Both of them require you only spend white mana to do this. Alia Samite Master. Like, she's okay. She's a 5 mana 2/3, and she has to tap to do her ability. So it's not like we can just leave her, like, cast her and actually gain some amount of life if we have white mana left over. I don't think I need to be putting haste in this deck for the most part, so like Greaves and Boots and whatnot. Alright. Aura Shards is one of those cards that I will always consider in my green-white decks because it's just way, way too good. Even though I would prefer to be exiling things rather than destroying them. White creature with a green kicker that destroys a land. Oh, Invasion. What will you think of next? Activate abilities, tap all non-white creatures, Shroud. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. No. Don't need Sisay, I don't think. Swamp opponent's control. Have blue or red creatures. Astrosis. The source would deal 4 more damage to a permanent or player. That source deals 3 damage to that permanent or player instead. I mean, that's fine. It's not amazing, though. I don't think we need Dueling Grounds. Again, it's okay with what we're trying to do, but it also makes it so we can't multi-block, and we have a lot of smaller creatures, so that does make it so that we're either chumping or taking the damage, and if the one thing is big enough, that might be an issue. Let's be honest, in most cases, we'd be taking the damage anyway. Because we're not going to block with all of our little guys. Holy Day. Cheetah. No, Jade Leech. I already shot down your 2 siblings. I am not interested in you either. Lots of little creatures, so no. Pro Black. Eh. Pro White. No. Trample. Malamo. No. Can't run. Gain first strike. Gain protection from black. Okay, next page. To the battlefield, lose life equal to its mana value. Reaper, Slayer, Plague Spitter, no. Portal, no. Kicked enters with a 1/1 counter on it and can attack as though it didn't have Defender. I read that as Prismatic Barricade, and I'm trying to remember what it did, and that's not what it did at all. Because it's not Prismatic, it's just Prison. Pure Reflection. Okay, the Quirion creatures. Trailblazer's a bit too expensive. We can get cheaper rampant growth effects, and the other 2 just aren't doing anything. Rats, Reckless Spite, Recover, Restock. Built by target attacking creature this turn and draw a card. No. Reviving Dose, no. Cast a multicolored spell, you gain 4 life. You can do better than that. I'd rather gain like 1 or 2 life every time they cast a spell than gain 4 life if it's multicolored most of the time. Rather have the versatility. From blue and red. Whenever damage from a black or red source is prevented, you gain that much life. Again, we can do better than that. Sapperling cards. Scouting Trek. No. Soulburn. As long as you control a permanent of each color, prevent all damage will be dealt to you. Well, that's going to be kind of difficult, isn't it? I don't think we need Sterling Grove. If it turns out we do, I can always come back for it. Tranquility. Prevent the next 2 damage that would be dealt to any target this turn. Babo's Decree and her Assassin. Stuff from Urborg. Vertiloth. Creature deals. Pick gain life equal to the... No. No. Gain 2 life for each land? No. Wax and Wane. Each basic land. Winnow and Yawgmoth's Agenda. Okay. So that was Invasion. We're to Ixalan. Alright, Ixalan, what amazing life gain synergies do you have for me? Pay for life, this is indestructible. Probably not. Adonto being able to make 1/1 lifelink creatures. Maybe we'll need to get to the front face of it, though. Legion's Landing. +2/+0. Pay 2 life, draw a card. If you have 5 or less life, you may transform it. Seems highly unlikely. And the pay life to draw cards, we can probably do better than that on a different card. Like, I would rather have Greed or Erebos at that point, I think. And have the cheaper one. You may have 2 target players exchange life totals. think so. Ashes does give us a life when any creature dies, and it shuts off certain graveyard synergies, so maybe. Is of the it's abhorrent, right? One in a way, enchantment. I don't know how much room we're gonna have. Oh, there's two R's. Okay. I don't know how much room we're gonna have for the random things that gain us life when certain things happen. Like, we might have to focus specifically on things we have the most control over and that we can double and triple down on the effects rather than gaining life every time something random happens, regardless of what it is. But I would like to have the options for a bunch of these cards where it's just like, okay, something happened, we gain life. Something that's going to happen a lot anyway makes us gain life. Specifically, target opponent loses one for each vampire you control. Nope. Don't need bishop. For the bishop soldier. Blightkeeper, no. Will be dealt to creatures this turn. Creatures you control gain hexproof. No, we can do better. Draw a card. Create 3/1/1s with lifelink. No. The big dinosaurs. Don't think we need Conqueror's Foothold. Cards. Crush Canopy. Nourishment. Target opponent discards a card. No. Enters the battlefield or attacks, you may exile a target card from a graveyard. If a creature is exiled this way, gain 2 life. If a non-creature is exiled this way, it gets +1/+1. Nope, we can do way better than that. Dies, make a treasure. There's a battlefield, it explores. Menace, Death Touch. Tiger. Legion, Dreadnought. Growth. First Strike and explores. More nose. Pay 2 life, gains flying or vigilance. And then growing rights, heartless pillage, imperial aerosaur, answer. Way better than the cleric. Finding no. Explore +5/+5 and trample. Hexproof no. For dinosaurs, kite sail. There's Legion's Landing. Yeah, I can see that one. Legion's Landing. It's white and it's an enchantment. Altasaur, Lost Veil, Maverin. Again, I don't think I will have nearly enough vampires for something like Maverin, even though he'd be creating a 1/1 if he can safely attack every turn, so. I don't need Old Growth Dryads. I have no fun effects for forcing well, not forcing, because it is a May, but punishing opponents for getting extra land. Also, if we did that, our reward is a 1-mana 3/3, so that's not super impressive. If there was a dinosaur I super cared about, Priest of the Awakening Sun might have a chance. But I don't think so, so. Maybe your end step, if you attack this turn, target opponent discards a card. Eh, don't think so. Treasure tokens, no. Gain 4 life, draw card, no. Treasures. You gain twice X life, put Sanguine Sacrament on the bottom of its owner's library. So for 2 white and 1, I gain 2 life. At 2, we gain 4. So it's a 4 mana gain 4. Like, how much mana would I have to dump into something like this before I would actually gain anywhere near enough life that I would care about it? At 7 mana, I gain 10. Yeah, I'm not coming up with a number where this thing looks like it would actually be what I want. Settle the Wreckage, on the other hand. Yeah, I like the idea of punishing the players for attacking me specifically and exiling all of their creatures, and by getting the land out of their deck, it does make them more likely to draw spells, but it also makes it easier to just um, cut their clock down since we're trying to outlast them rather than actively kill them. Draw a card. Counters. Don't need Spyglass, I don't think. Equal to its toughness to target creature blocking or blocked by it. Thank you. Seeker, Sword Point Diplomacy. I think I need Thematic Compass, especially since it puts it into our hand. It is okay for turning into a Mazavith afterwards, so making sure we hit land drops and giving us a maze effect, but ultimately I don't think so. Or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to its toughness. I don't know that we want that because a lot of our creatures are going to be very little. We do have some angels and some angel makers, though, so maybe. Probably not, though. Verdant Suns, Avatar. 5, green, green. They do have the Avatar type, right? That would make sense. Yeah, Dinosaur Avatar 5/5. Don't need Conquistador, don't need Vine Shaper. Getting down to Vonya. Do I want Vona, Butcher of Magan? I mean, in this deck, she basically has tap, destroy target non-land permanent. Only on my turn. I guess we will consider her, but I can see cutting her primarily because we won't be able to activate her the turn she comes down. 5-drop. 3 white, black, Vampire Knight. Yeah, the hardest thing about using her will be the fact that you can't actually activate her the turn she comes down unless I put things in that let us do that, and I do not plan to. Vraska's Contempt exiles and gains life, and that's kind of tempting. I would rather have Murderous Rider, though. And I'm pretty sure once I have Murderous Rider, I'm not gonna feel like I have room for that also. It does, like, Murderous Rider doesn't exile, though, is the issue. But I think just having the lifelink creature afterwards is better than the exile portion. So we're on Journey now. Distribute 3 counters, top 4 cards, reveal an aura, creature, or planeswalker. -8, gain 100 life. If I thought there was any realistic chance we would be able to activate Ajani to gain that 100 life in this deck, I would absolutely try and do that. But no. Armament of Nyx, no. Athreos, God of Passage. I mean, I am A-okay with Athreos, so this is Journey. I don't know if he'll make it or not, but I will definitely consider him. Because we're gaining tons of life. Other players, not so much. What's his stats again? 5-4. Vanishing Light, no. Sara, Light. Brain Maggot, Cast into Darkness. Creatures, Consigned to Dust is a destroy effect, so no. Dawnbringer, Charioteers, Deicide. State of Erebos. Giant. Intimidate. No. Each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. No, I think I would like to cast lots of spells each turn. Just gain 7 life. Hudson. Exile one of those creatures. Your opponent can't cast spells with the same name as a card exiled with Godsend. Nope. Enchantment enters the battlefield. Each opponent loses 1 life. No. Target creature. I don't need the Bane or the Humbler or the Broodmaster. I do like King Makar constantly exiling things, but I don't know that he is going to be something I can tap consistently. There's not somebody safe to attack. Band Trailblazer, no. Launch the Fleet, no. Controller adds 2 additional, no. Each opponent draws a card, no. Number, get +1/+1. Top X, number of forests you control. The rest on the bottom. -X. Card from your graveyard to your hand, no. Sleepy Sheep, no. Sorry, Sleepy Sheep. Just 1 life during my upkeep is not quite enough. Even if it is fun to carry your fluffy little wool body around like you're a feather boa around the neck. Or big scarf, I guess. More accurate. Big old fluffy sheep. Also, it's summertime. Definitely not the time of year for that. Winter, maybe. Winter, you can firemen's carry your sheep around. Though I suppose that's more across the shoulders than the over-the-shoulder fireman's carry, so... Either way, though. He just wants to be picked up and brought wherever he's going. He's too tired. Hulk, Grove Dancer, Tactics, this Brawler, Silence the Believers. Yeah, I don't make enough mana for Silence to be anything consistent. Step, no. Solidarity. Ooh, excuse me. Fire Spine. No. Fallen, Supply Line Crane, Swarmborn Giant, don't temples. Targeting my stuff. Gain 1 life, pay a life, each opponent loses life. Nope. Okay. Journey. Onward to Judgment. Oops. Didn't actually add it. Gain 1 life for each card in your graveyard. No. Rush Hopper. Warm Snapper. 0+2. No Battle Screech. Three cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. We can do better than that for deck recycling. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice. Vigilance. Trample. That. If equal to its power. Control 20 per creature. Game. Target all creature and opponent controls gains Forest Walk. X plus X. X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. Gain a life for each creature you control. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Control use. Don't need hunting grounds. You want Crosenberg. Judgment. Crosenberg. Wayfarer. Wish. Mirari's Wake. Graveyard and library. Shuffle your library. Monastery. Getting back aura cards. And destroy target artifact or enchantment. Phantom creatures. Prevent all damage that sources of the color of your choice would deal this turn. Flashback, tap an untapped white creature. Pulse Mage. Seed Tongue. Spell target creature card from a graveyard. This card deals damage equal to its... Or that card deals damage equal to its power to the Exorcist. All combat damage X creatures would deal. Damage would be dealt to any target this turn by a source of your choice. Skip your draw step, you have Shroud. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. so you have to have other ways to get cards into hand. It combos poorly with Necropotence, though, in that the Necropotence will exile what we're discarding, so we won't be able to get it back later on. But other than that, it's fine. Do I actually want this effect for any reason? I mean, obviously we can not take damage and not be targeted. I think there are similar cards that are slightly better. I could be wrong about that. Maybe I don't want anything like any of these, so... put a feather counter on it. No. A white to make spirit. For a target attacking creature. No. Sacrifice a land to give Shroud. I don't think we need Test of Endurance. Like, if you wanted to, you can absolutely jam that in the deck and it'll be fine, because we're definitely going to have more than 50 life a lot of the time. But that's not how I'm planning on winning this game, so we'll let other people put that in their decks. Alright, so that was Judgment. Onward to Jumpstart. See if the collector numbers matter on Jumpstart. Yep, there we go. Prevent all non-combat damage that will be dealt to you and creatures you control. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, make a unicorn. Exile a creature, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. When another creature enters the battlefield, you may pay hybrid white-green to put a 1/1 counter on. If it's a unicorn, put 2 counters instead. So that is tempting primarily to blink our creatures if we have enough good comes into play gain life effects. So, this is Emil, right? Is his name? Yeah. Emil the Blessed. 2 white for a unicorn. Dogs, flying creatures get a buff. Draw an artifact or enchantment, +1/+1 and lifelink. Enchantment from the graveyard to your run Kells. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. No. Draw a card and lose a life. Each opponent with no cards loses 10 life. Beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, each opponent sacrifices a creature and you return up to 1 target creature from your graveyard to your hand. Yes to Witch of the Moors. I choose 3 black and Warlock. And Warlock for 4. Don't need Branching Evolution. Can't run Naeth. Where X is the total toughness of other creatures. All creatures gain trample until end of turn. Driving lands and the basics. Okay. Jumpstart. Jumpstart 2. This in again. Argus. Still don't think I want Blessed Sanctuary. Frightmare. Exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until Chains of Custody leaves the battlefield, and it gives Ward 2. There's Emil again. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. 4 white, tap, exile another target creature you control, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. So it's already a Soul Sister. Like, the blink ability is a bit on the expensive side, but... Alright. Consider it. white for a human wizard. 2. No, fine. We'll leave it as a little dinky half for right now. Lita. Zeppelins. Magnanimous Magistrate. 5 reprieve counters. Mana value is 1 or greater. You may remove that many reprieve counters from Magistrate. If you do, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. I think so. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it wasn't cast, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 0/1 white illusion. So we do have Conjurer's Closet, Teleportation Circle, Emil, and the thing we just added, the Conjurer. The blink things. I don't know how many other ways we will have to put a creature into play without casting it. But having even 0/1 illusion copies of them, since a lot of them will be gaining us life anyway, might be worth it. Also, he can exile things. I'll consider him, but if we don't have enough ways to flicker our stuff... Vanisher is his title. Three and a white. Rabbit. Third. Coat of the Shadow Swarm cares about rats, so that's not going to make it. Don't need a Conductor. Beginning of your upkeep, deal 1 damage to each opponent. You gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. See, these are tempting because this one actually gives you life based on the total damage dealt. So, if we have 3 opponents, we will gain 3 life this way. And it's very cheap too, so it kind of fits in with the other things in the deck. Sucker. So maybe. I can also see winding up not running it because it's not exactly what I'm looking for, but I'll give him a chance. Disciple of Perdition. Yeah, I'm never going to have exactly 13 life. Also, it's basically just a 1/3 that when it dies, I draw a card and lose 1, so... Deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Flying Death Touch Lifelink. Gains indestructible if I've gained life. Gain my end step, I may pay hybrid white, black, and 1. Return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. Alright. It's very possible with him for me to return a creature on the same turn if I have 7 mana. Or 8 mana, rather. And after that, he's still a recursive thing. Vampire Angel. Yep. Vampire Angel. 4/4. There's a possibility we'll cut him because he's a base 6-drop and needs 8 mana total to do his thing, but... Skull Slither Worm, Suspicious Shambler... Termination Facilitator... Benevolent Hydra... Ladybug... Oh... Cast a creature spell with mana value 5 or greater. Nope. Below the greatest mana value among creatures you control. They play lands and cast insects from the graveyard. Put it on the bottom. Target insect gets +1/+0 and Death Touch. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have anywhere near enough insects for that to matter at all. Replicator, don't need the idol. Of War and Planar Atlas. Okay. It's the 2 jumpstart sets. Alright. Brings us to Kaladesh. Well, Kaladesh has a lot of token makers. Don't know if it has a particularly large amount of life gain. It does have some blink effects and cares about comes into play abilities. Alright, it also has Aetherflux Reservoir. Can I cast enough spells in a turn to make Aetherflux Reservoir good? We certainly have enough cheap spells, and I'm planning to have a lot of card draw too, so maybe? Maybe that's a thing. Aetherflux. Or? Reservoir. +4. Oops, and it's an artifact. +1 turn. Marks Marvel, no. Aetherborn, no. 1/1. 5 life. Judge. Enter the battlefield tapped. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you gain 1 life. So maybe. So yeah, now we have both Authority and Blind Obedience, because they both can gain us life, and we don't actually super care about the coming into play tapped aspect of it, but it is a thing. So I'm not sure if we're going to bother with either of them. When it casts a spell, if it has a single target, change the target to the enchanted creature if able. Was McGear Hulk. Servo. Delta players. Thunder and Reach. All damage should be dealt to you this turn by the source of your choice. Attacking creature destructible. Creeping Mold, Cultivator, Caravan. Think I need Decoction Module for anything. Die Young. Dubious Challenge never. Extraction no. Fabrication Module. Filigree Familiar. Spectre. Destroy all creatures, gain 1 life for each creature destroyed this way. I'd rather just exile all of our opponent's creatures than destroy our own, so no. Player has no cards in hand. That player draws 3 cards. Think so. You control 3 or more artifacts, gain a life, and then we can tutor for artifacts. I don't think we're necessarily going to have enough artifacts, though, for this. So, as funny as that is. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Oh, sure. We'll consider Campbell. he have an H somewhere in his name? He does not. Console of allocation. White, black, human advisor, 2-3. He might not make it, because they'll just cast a non-creature spell that kills him and move on, but in the meantime, he does threaten to gain a lot of life or make them not cast their spells. So, either one is good. Don't need Marionette Master. I think I need the Trinketeer. Curiosity, no. Wonder. Life and you gain a life. 5/5. Return a permanent from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, you may draw a card. Gearhulk kills and gains life, but I don't think we need him. I might want the Panharmonicon, though. So that way I gain even more life for things coming into play. Fabricate. Don't need Gearsmith. Privileges. Excuse me. Subtle Strike. Get Trafficker. Driving creatures. If we had more artifacts, I could see tidy conclusion. Like if I was just making tons of treasure and using those to gain life somehow, like sacrificing artifacts to gain life, or when artifacts die, I gain life. We were a bit more black focused. I could see that being a thing. So that was Kaladesh. Where are we at? 53 minutes. Alright, let's do one more. Call time. I think I'm gonna call it there. Yeah, we'll only do 1 hour today. Got a bit of a late start this morning and had some other stuff to do, so already getting close to time to get ready for work. Send the worthy. Choose a creature you control. All damage that would be dealt to creatures you control is dealt to that creature instead. Graveyard to the battlefield with a flying counter on it. No. That one. +1/+1. Make a human, make an elf. Choose any number of artifact tokens and or creature tokens you control with different names and make a copy of each of them. Target spell ability opponent controls, draw a card. Binding. Snow stuff. Put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 creatures that gain vigilance and lifelink until end of turn. Rune Demon, I don't think so. If an angel or berserker entered under your control this turn. No. Draw a card if your life total is greater than your starting life total, otherwise gain 2 life. Just a 4-mana personal Howling Mine in this deck? Do I actually want that? It would draw us a card the turn it comes down, so maybe. Cosmos Elixir. Drop artifact. Crippling Fear, Death Knell Berserker, Gifts, Dogged Pursuit, new, Scar, Oracle. Turn target elf from your graveyard to your hand. No. Don't need any of these elves matter cards. Gator Valkyrie, new. Put a 1/1 counter. Exile a creature with the greatest power among creatures target opponent controls. Yeah, no, we got way better than that already. There's Retribution. Blade Walker Ritualist, rather. No, Glittering Frost. I almost read that as Glitterfang for some reason, and I don't know why. Glorious Protector. Hot Bolt Recluse. Glorious Protector is an interesting one for an anti-Wrath, since we can cast her, put everything underneath her, and then get it all back when she dies to the Wrath effect. Wouldn't be able to save our other angel creatures and any of our tokens, but we would still be able to save all of the Soul Sister type cards and the other life gain creatures, so. It's alright, but we have enough other things going on that are similar to that. Including Teferi's Protection, because she would also get around exiling effects, which a lot of the other cards I'm thinking of don't. I think we have one or two of those already also. Probably don't need the angel on top of that. Attach target aura or equipment attached to a creature you control to target creature control. Nope. Knight the Elves for their king. All that uniting. Fine, no. Iron Verdict, no. Dorn. She can exile with her minus. Ghost form counter on target non-creature. It gains when this creature dies or is put into exile. Return it to owner's hand. And create a 1/1. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may cast a legendary spell from your hand, graveyard, or from among the cards you own in exile without paying its mana cost. She's not terrible. The +1 can be relevant. The -3 is an exile effect. She has a 5-drop, though. We're paying 5 for the sorcery speed exile, and then either distracting the other players or making spirits after that by protecting our creatures. I'll consider her. I don't think she's going to make the list. Syrup. 3 white, black, Walker, 5 loyalty, I think. Yep. Yeah, we'll consider her, but I don't think she's going to make it. She does have enough positive things going on. I just don't know if any individual piece will be worth the deck slot, and then the other stuff that she can do is just a bonus at that point. Because I don't think I run her if I need all of her stuff to be firing in order for her to be, like, worth the deck slot. Because I don't think that's going to happen often enough. I feel like she's either going to exile a permanent and then die, or she's going to protect one or two of our creatures from a wrath effect or a targeted removal spell and then die. So neither one of those is amazing most of the time, but if it looks like she's going to be able to do like 2 things, consistently, then that's probably enough for the 5 mana. You return an artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. No. Don't need the Vandal. Though it does exile artifacts or enchantments, it's exiling something from my graveyard too. And we have plenty of stuff that can exile artifacts and enchantments without exiling any of my stuff, so put it onto the battlefield tapped. Frogger. Realm Walker. Rampage of the Valkyries. I also don't think we need Redain. I'll have to double check Volkmir, but Marshall. Alright, another angel or cleric enters the battlefield. Gain life equal to its toughness. As long as you have at least 7 more life than your starting life total, your creatures get +2/+2. Yeah, that one's worth considering. Just hang on. I always forget how to spell Valkyrie. Valkyr. Yeah, that's where the Y is. The E. Just 2 and a white. Angel Cleric. Rise of the Dreadmarn. This you. Wisdom. Think I need any of the runes or the rune crown or the forger. Each other non-land permanent with mana value less than or equal to the number of counters removed this way. Nope. Packmate. I'm not spending snow mana, so I'm not gaining life from Search for Glory. Shepherd. Sigrid. Alray. Veil. Steel. Spirit of Aldegard. I don't know that we're going to have enough angels for Starnheim Aspirant to be relevant, so definitely don't need Starnheim Unleashed. If creature dies, return it to owner's hand. Tegrid. Hosky. Bulky because of his backside. Let's see. Whenever you or another permanent you control becomes the target of spell or ability, counter unless they pay 1, and it prevents 1 damage. Don't think so. 6 mana, 4/5 flying lifelink that makes 4/4s if we gain 4. We can consider her, but I don't think so. Again, she can very easily be triggered at the end of our turn on that first turn that we cast her just by gaining life up until that point. Like, things gaining us life for her coming into play in the first place. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we will want her. She's also an Angel Cleric, so she has both of the relevant creature types for this deck. Like, most likely to be relevant creature types in this deck. I don't think we need Varaggoth. Reaper, Vorinclex. Still have a couple cards left. Oh, I didn't get the Snowfield Sinkhole, did I? I think we want the white-black and green-black lands from this set. Like, I would rather have the, like, battle lands and whatnot. Oh, there we go. It's like, what did I do there? Why is there an extra letter? And then my brain kind of went, I can't tell which one is the wrong one. Oh, brain, you'll be okay. But yeah, I think we want the white black and the green black dual lands, like the mediocre ones from Kaldheim and Dominaria. But we'll use the like cycling land and the Battle for Zendikar dual lands for the white green ones because they're just better. They're the same but with upside for the most part. What's it? Woodland Chasm. Or another angel enters the battlefield on your control, put a 1/1 counter on Valkyrie. No. Alright, so we're just past the hour mark. I guess we could do Kaldheim Commander real quick, and that won't take too long. We'll be done with everything Kaldheim. Start on Kamigawa next time. Most of this is just going to be elf stuff, and then a couple of blinking things, so not expecting too much from this set. Yeah, we don't need Lathriel. If a permanent you control will be put into the graveyard from the battlefield, exile instead, and return it to the battlefield. Has 5 or more counters, has flying and is an angel, and then it's indestructible and a god. For basic planes, that back to the serpent, ruthless winnower, old jar, bounty, gain life equal to its toughness. Yeah, I don't think we're running enough elves. Venom, and then we're through it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. So, yeah, that's going to do it for me for today. Made it through a fair number of sets, so thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll have a bit more time tomorrow, and I will see you next time. Have a good rest of your day.